Hey, I'm Hannah. I'm a writer and a freelancer. Freelance work is a great way to dip your toes in different professions and try out industries before you quit your day job. It's also a good way to diversify your income stream for stability because we live in a capitalist hellscape. If you're ready to start freelancing, or if you're thinking about it, or if you've already started but you're struggling, this video is for you. Freelancing makes up about 30% of my income right now, and I've offered services for several years. I've had steady business the whole time, so I'm going to share some tips with you. I offer services in professional development, writing, and marketing. Even if your niche is not in that, some of these tips might still be helpful for you. So we're going to go over how to get started from pricing to getting your first customer. And if you want more content like this, make sure you interact with this video in some way or share it so that I know to make more. The first question everyone asks is, how much do I charge? So I'm going to go over this little guide on how you can set pricing. Tip number one is to research what other people are charging. Anytime you're confused or you're not sure how to do something, just look up other people who are offering the same services and see what they're doing. Now, when you're researching what to charge, make sure that you take into consideration the people you're looking at's experience and your experience. For example, you're not going to start out with book editing and charge the same prices that someone with decades of experience and multiple certifications is going to be charging. So look at a bunch of examples and kind of find the range for that industry and then figure out where you fit in that range. Tip two is to experiment with prices. I changed my prices all the time when I was starting out. I've actually consistently raised my prices because I kept getting too much business and then I was doing other things that were more worthwhile. So raising my prices didn't get me less business. It just kind of kept it in equilibrium. So you might start at one price and get overloaded with work and have to raise it, or you might not get any work at all and have to lower it. I wouldn't say have a constantly fluctuating price forever because that's not a great look, but don't be afraid to tweak it, especially when you're just starting out. Tip three, track the hours that you're working on each job. Even if you're not charging hourly, this is great for your own frame of reference. If you finish a particular job way quicker than you thought you would, maybe your prices are too high. If you took way longer, maybe your prices are too low. Here's the spreadsheet that I use for my freelance queue. It's super duper simple and I can talk about it more in another video, but you can see here that I log the hours I've worked on each project. And that's entirely for my own edification and planning timelines and prices and things like that. I recommend doing this especially when you're just starting out. Speaking of, do you want to charge hourly or flat? That depends on you, the industry, the job, lots of things. Personally, I prefer a flat rate, or I charge per word because I do writing services. And the way I do that is by tracking my hours to see how much time I put toward each job, and then I can estimate for future projects. That's why I have different rates for a resume edit versus a resume build, because I know that there are different time investments for each of those jobs. So based on the time it takes, I have an estimate of how much I want to charge, but then I round up a little bit, and I'll tell you why. So I invoice a customer, they pay me, I do the job. I'm logging my hours so I know how much time it took and I know how much effort it was. If I charge them $120 and I feel like I only did $90 worth of work, I can now refund them $30. This does a few things. Number one, if you undercharge, you have two options, and that's eating the cost or re-invoicing them. And both of those options suck. So by overcharging initially, you save yourself that headache. And number two, if you issue a refund, do you know the trust that builds with the client? Even if it's not a huge refund, they see that you're reliable and that you're honest about your pricing, and that endears you to them. And I know from experience, they will tell all their friends, they will recommend you to random tweets that are asking for service suggestions, and they will come back to you for future jobs. There are lots of ways to structure your prices, but this is what I found works best for me. So do your research, know that you'll have to experiment and tweak your prices, track your work time, and set up an effective pay structure. Now that we know what we're charging, how are we going to find our first client? I wouldn't say that I'm anti-paid ad or traditional marketing, but I've never found them necessary. Having a platform is a major advantage, but even when I didn't have one, I was able to reach out to people personally and get those first clients. Then ideally, that clientship is going to snowball with referrals. So I've got some tips for a few ways that you can get your first clients without traditional advertising. Number one, put effort into your website and portfolio. If you're saying you have a skill set, what can you do to prove that you do have that skill set? On my services page, I include videos of me doing critiques and edits. I have one service that's a marketing image makeover. So basically people send in their attempt at making marketing images. So I have a really firm idea of what they want, and then I just make a better version of it. So that's much quicker than designing something from scratch, so I can charge less money. But to demonstrate that skill, I have a before and after example of an image that I did. It's super simple. So anything that you say you can do, try to figure out how you can prove that you can do that. Apart from that, just have a clean and professional presentation of yourself online. I've seen editors and their service page is just rife with typos. And that's kind of embarrassing and exactly how you don't get jobs. Tip 2, look at your network. I have a platform. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram with like followings big enough that I don't have to try to get customers anymore, which is very convenient. I make videos of my manuscript critiques and people find them. They don't know I offer services and they still reach out to hire me. A platform is a very strong thing. I'm gonna get jobs just from making this video and I'm not asking for them. But if you're starting without a platform, you have to use what's available to you, which is your friends and family. For example, when I was a teenager, I had this little side hustle where I would make promotional videos for businesses. So I started by reaching out to business owners I knew. I made a video for like my Krav Maga instructor about some new service offerings he had. I was an assistant photographer for one of my friends who did boudoir shoots. So I saw the behind the scenes of it and I knew the vibe and I knew she'd get more business if people knew exactly what to expect and saw that it was a relaxed, laid back, fun experience, and a video would have served that purpose. So I used the network I already had to build my initial portfolio, and since all of the jobs had to be local because I was going on location to make the videos, word of mouth was the perfect advertising. After 2 or 3 jobs, I had people I didn't know reaching out to me because of those clients. So literally scroll through your friend list and think of people to pitch your ideas to, see how you can help them or their business, and then pitch something. Post on your personal social media accounts just to let people know that you're offering services. And my biggest hack for this is let your popular friends know that you're looking for business. There was this one lady I knew who just never shut up and she told everyone everything that she knew. So anytime I wanted the entire Tri-City area to know something, I would tell her. Free advertising. So just let your network know. You don't have to start with 100 clients, you just have to start with 1. Tip 3, create content. Blogs, YouTube videos, and online seminars related to your topic or your service offering will draw people in. For example, if I made a video called How to Write a Cover Letter, and then I linked my services in the description, people Googling how to write a cover letter might find that video and then be drawn to my services. Creating content is a great way to get business because it's letting people know that you offer services, proving that you're an expert, and throwing yourself in the way of people who are searching how to blank because you know exactly how to blank. If this is totally out of your reach and you're nowhere near ready to produce content, social media counts as content. I'm not very good at Instagram, but I make posts with like writing tips and writing prompts, and I use the appropriate hashtags, and I get new followers every time I post one of those, and those followers are interested in the services I provide. So this is called a sales funnel, right? My following on everything that I have is the very top of my sales funnel, and then as it gets narrower, you're funneling in to this is where you want them to be. So maybe they find out who I am, they follow me on something. They realize I offer services. They get a little interested in my services, they kind of research, and then I run a promotion and they just go ahead and buy it. So you want to scoop up a bunch of people and then sift through them to find your clients. Does that make sense? Having a strong social media presence related to your service counts as content creation. Tip 4, establish yourself as an expert in your field. There are a few ways to do this. One is with a compelling website that lists your qualifications. Other options, publishing a book, teaching classes, or like I already said, content creation. For example, I've established myself as an expert for workshops and critiques through my critique videos, my Skillshare classes, and my own writing that potential clients have access to. So think about what you can do to establish yourself as an expert in your field. Tip 5, let your clients opt in for a mailing list. That way you can keep them updated on new services and discounts and that type of thing. You can turn a one-time customer into 3 new jobs easily. It's much harder and more costly to get a new customer than it is to retain an old one. So once you made that connection, make sure you keep in contact. Depending on your industry and your client base, you can even reach out one-on-one individually to let them know about new specials or whatever, and just to check in and see if they need anything. Tip 6, referral programs. These are great for getting new business. I don't use one currently because I have enough clients, but if I did, I'd use a deal like a $10 credit toward any of my services for you and whoever you refer. And it's really simple to set up. You just put who referred you in your sign up form. If you do an outstanding, mind-blowing, life-alteringly amazing job at something, that client is most likely going to recommend you to a friend. If you do a good job, but you have a referral program, work smarter, not harder. Tip 7 is just to treat your clients right. At this point, I'm able to turn away clients that I don't want to work with. This means the clients I do keep are ones that I really want to work with. So I'll put in the extra effort and make sure I answer all their questions thoroughly and walk them through the process really well. And I usually offer free or discounted services that I think could help them more. So really value the clients you get, because you could turn that one-time client into a lifetime client. I have people I've been working with for years, And it's so much easier just to maintain those clients than to go find new ones. That's all I've got for you today. If you want me to make another video about how I manage my workflow and my job queue and when I turn away clients and how I do it, let me know in a comment. Also, leave any specific questions you have about freelancing so I can maybe cover that in another video. I have books if you like reading, and I have classes if you like writing. Everything's linked in the description. Thank you to my patrons for sponsoring this video. If you would like access to special behind-the-scenes content, patron exclusive group chats and video calls, video shoutouts, and more, check out patreon.com/HannahLeeKidder, and I'll see you next week. Bye!